Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome MCUL and Affiliates CEO and CU Solutions Group President and CEO, Dave Adams.
Good morning. First of all, the good news. I don't have an hour's worth of PowerPoint slides this morning. Thank you. I just want to know, on behalf of MCUL and Affiliates, with everything going on, we've got a bunch of people here. We have about 1,200 people. We've had some great networking events. The golf outing was tremendous. 170 golfers, raised $32,000 for CMN and Credit Unions for Kids. Spectacular weather, an amazing convention that our team has put together, great networking, lots of learning. Are you having a good time? That's all I want to know. At the end of the day, I'll tell you something that former Ways and Means Committee Chair Dave Camp said to me one time. I had so much respect for him and the way he carried himself in one of the most powerful positions in Washington. And I said, I don't know how you do it, but you're so affable and approachable. And beyond what you do while you're in office, you're just an amazing person. He said, well, the secret is you just can't take yourself too seriously. And I think the other secret is you need to learn to have some fun along the way, because the work we do is a lot of fun. We do so much good for our members and our communities. We don't take ourselves too seriously. We're not bankers. We're credit union family, people helping people. And I just want to take my hat off one more time to you and tell you how much you inspire me and my team for all of your good works and all that you do for your members and communities. Give yourselves a big round of applause. So we've done a lot. We've had a lot of networking. We have more to come. We have a full agenda today with some great speakers. I'm looking forward to having Ken Ross, our President COO, up here to give you the lay of the land more from the association side. I focused a lot on what CUSG is doing to help credit unions plan for the future. Ken's going to be up here. We have Jim Nussle. We're so honored to have Jim as the CEO of CUNA on our agenda. Many other speakers. I won't go through the whole program. We're going to have a special message from Senator Debbie Stabenow. But I just want to welcome you back and hope you have a great day. And the rest of the convention is full of learning and networking opportunities. We have tomorrow, of course, our honors breakfast, where we're going to be able to honor many of your colleagues, some of you here today, for your good works. So welcome back. It's great to have you here. And I want to start off here, but before I do, I want to say one more word about Jim Nussle, because I'm not actually going to be the one introducing him. Jim and I have worked together since he's been CEO of CUNA now 4 years or so, and Jim has just done a tremendous job. The CUNA League system has gone through a lot of turmoil as we've changed some of the membership rules, and a lot of the issues that Jim has taken on, from tax reform to passing S-2155, the first meaningful regulatory relief legislation for our industry in decades. But beyond all the things that Jim does, he lives that credo that I mentioned that came from Dave Camp. He doesn't take himself too seriously. He meets with us in Michigan and all across the country. He takes time with the crashers like he did this morning. He's a great guy. He's a great credit union person. Jim, we're really glad to have you here. Thank you so much. Now, before I bring our chairman up here, I have an important plug to make. Yesterday I talked about my grandbabies. I'm so honored and happy to have these two wonderful spirits come to the world, 26 weeks old. They're going to be in the NICU of a children's hospital for at least 3 months. Everything's progressing wonderfully. And I think for me, Credit Unions for Kids and the Children's Miracle Network just hits home closer and more meaningful than ever. This morning, we had a fun run, and I want to really give a shout out to Bridget Staffolano from Catholic Federal Credit Union. This is the 3rd year in a row she's organized this fun run, right, to raise money for Credit Unions for Kids. We had little Johnny Hendricks out there this morning. Glad to have you and your family here. He is an example of what children's hospitals can do to help little ones survive these challenges and go on to live a prosperous, full life. But this fun run this morning, 3 years running. I think the first year it was $1,500 raised. The second year in Grand Rapids, it was maybe $4,000. We raised $9,000 thanks to Bridget and the team from this one event. And I want to throw this out there. I have a little bit of spending authority without my board authorization, but CUSG would like to add to this. We'll match any credit union's contribution up to $500. We have a lot of credit unions here, but any credit union that wants to make a $500 contribution to this fund-run segment of raising money, CUSG will match it dollar for dollar. I'd like to see if we can get that $9,000 up to $20,000 or $30,000. Add that to the golf event, the silent and live auction. We're going to raise over, I'm confident, over $120,000 while we're here in Traverse City for kids, with your help. Now, it's my great honor to bring to the stage our immediate past chairman, John Buckley, immediate by a day. Okay, John has served as chairman for 2 years, representing you on the MCUL board. John has been with Gerber Federal Credit Union as CEO for about a dozen years. He's been on our board in one capacity or another for about 9, most recently serving as chairman. Has been involved with the PAC trustees, with the CUSG board, and has been a part of decisions that have been made by MCUL, by our PAC trustees, by CUSG, that have had an amazing impact on our industry. But I have another slide. This is me at the back of the room at our recent GAC, where we had about 100 of you gathered to listen to our 2 U.S. Senators, Gary Peters and Debbie Stabenow. And I'm taking a picture from the back there because it was an impressive showing of grassroots lobbying. This is John Buckley in the front of the room engaging with Gary Peters. He knows him personally, he knows the issues, he leads by example along with many of the rest of you. And this is the kind of leader John Buckley has been, being prepared, showing up, whether it's in Lansing or Washington, to do his best to be a part of this team with our grassroots advocacy. Gary Peters was one of the moderate senators, by the way, who broke ranks from his party early on to clear the way for the passage of S-2155. We were his first endorsement. The Michigan Credit Union League was his first endorsement when there was an open race for U.S. Senate. Not only were we his first and strongest association endorsement, but through our special A Stronger Financial Michigan fund, we spent over $1 million on issue advocacy ads promoting his brand before he ran for election. He was successful. He supported us on S-2155. John and others have been a part of that. Likewise, this is John at the same event engaging with Senator Debbie Stabenow. He did not know that he was being photographed for this moment here to give me material to talk about him. That's just the guy that John is. But going back to the Dave Camp comment of not taking yourself too seriously, I think the true demonstration of a great leader is you don't take yourself too seriously and you just win the great guy or great gal award because he is a great person. And this is us with a small group of credit leaders at the West Wing while we're at the GAC, just socializing and enjoying Washington. And my favorite, at the Herb Wagner event, this is the only time in John's tenure where he actually put his arm around me. That meant a lot. And I tell you what, I've enjoyed a friendship and a camaraderie and the opportunity to have John on our board and representing you. Please join me in welcoming to the stage our immediate past chairman, John Buckley. Oh, I got a second one. I tell you what, when they hug you after they leave the board, that's even better. So, we're going to just present John with this lovely plaque that has a gavel on it that he's never going to be able to use again. And it just says, presented to John Buckley with thanks and appreciation for your dedicated service as chairman of the board of the Michigan Credit Union League. Again, congratulations and thank you so much for your service.
Thank you, Dave.
John Buckley.
Thank you. Dave doesn't let me go off script, so I'm just going to read to you here. Since 1934, the Michigan Credit Union League has worked to strengthen the credit union community. We do this by providing advocacy on important issues, promoting the credit union difference, and providing high-quality solutions that help credit unions succeed and enrich the lives of their members. We're fortunate to have a strong partner in the Credit Union National Association as we work to achieve these collective goals. In 2017, MCUL and CUNA urged the NCUA to close a temporary corporate credit union stabilization fund. As a result, $736 million will be returned to credit unions in the coming months. MCUL and CUNA filed a class action lawsuit against Equifax after its data breach impacted more than 145 million Americans. Most importantly, CUNA and MCUL worked hand in hand to both protect the credit union not-for-profit status as tax reform moved through Congress and did what many thought was impossible, passed a regulatory relief bill that reformed Dodd-Frank with targeted relief for credit unions. I appreciate the opportunity I've been given to serve as chairman of MCUL's board for the past 2 years. During my tenure, and due to nothing that I personally did, we updated the Michigan Credit Union Act. Governor Snyder signed the bill into law just 2 years ago on the AC&E stage. We expanded and enhanced cooperative advertising through the CU Link cooperative advertising program. We've affirmed our commitment to helping credit unions navigate compliance by launching and continually enhancing destination compliance. And for CU Solutions Group, we've continued to provide credit unions with high-quality, affordably priced solutions in the critically important areas of mobile technology, marketing, and talent management. I'd like to thank the MCUL and CUSG boards for making these possibilities a reality. Just like with every credit union represented here today, effective boards provide direction to the CEO and contribute to impactful strategic plans on behalf of the membership. Our boards have remained committed to being transparent and responsive to the needs of the members and owners. Ladies and gentlemen, while I'm proud to have had the great honor of serving as the chairman of the board for this great organization this year, and in fact at this convention, my second term as chair comes to an end. Yesterday, the MCUL board reorganized and elected a new chair. Many of you likely already know this, but I am incredibly pleased to announce to everyone that our new chairperson is Karen Church, CEO of Elga Credit Union. Karen, if you would please stand and be recognized. Karen was introduced to the credit union philosophy of people helping people, working a co-op position at Elga Credit Union her senior year of high school just 10 or 15 years ago, I think. Several years after graduation, she returned to Elga, and in 1993, after years of hard work and dedicated service, she was named CEO. Karen helped grow Elga from a one-branch, $3 million credit union with 5 employees to a more than $500 million, 11-branch credit union employing more than 200 people. She and her staff were able to accomplish this because of their commitment to outstanding service and improving the financial well-being of their members, that same people helping people principle that she embraced back in high school. She brings that same strength and conviction to her new role as chair of the MCUL board, and we're very fortunate to have her leadership. Please, another round of applause for my friend and your new board chair, Karen Church. Congratulations and good luck. I know you will do a wonderful job. At this time, I'd like to invite our next speaker to the stage. Jim Nussle served in the U.S. House from 1991 to 2007. During his tenure representing the people of Iowa, he served as chair of the House Budget Committee, was a member of House leadership, and served on the Banking and Ways and Means committees. In 2007, he was appointed by President Bush as the 36th Director of the White House Office of Management and Budget. In September of 2014, he was appointed to the role of CEO of the Credit Union National Association, where he now advocates on behalf of more than 6,000 credit unions and 110 million credit union members. Ladies and gentlemen, CUNA President Jim Nussle.
Very nice, thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Hey, first, John, hey, congratulations on your 2 years. What a great leader you have had here in Michigan. And I know you're not going anywhere. We still need your advocacy prowess and experience. So, ladies and gentlemen, John Buckley, one more time. That's great. And I just got to meet Karen last night and get to know her a little bit. High school to CEO, my gosh. I mean, only in America, right? And maybe only in credit unions, but we'll get to that. But what a great leader that you have going forward. And I look so much forward to working with you and all of you as we go forward. Dave Adams is a friend and someone that I very much look up to, and I guarantee you, as some of you know, he doesn't throw around praise in a faint-hearted way. So I'm honored that you would say those things, Dave. Thank you. And we're all with you, man, as you're struggling with your 2 grandsons. I say that because I've been there too. I had a daughter that went through the Miracle Hospital's open heart surgery when she's going to be 30 this year. And when she was like 1 month old, and so we're all touched by this. And so maybe you haven't been touched by it yet, but you're just sadly, we're all just a moment away, it seems, from being touched by this. So I congratulate you on the great mission and effort that you've put into the Miracle Networks. You never know when you're going to wake up and it's going to be you on the front lines of that. Howard Spencer, who is here, who is a member of our National Credit Union Foundation Board. Thank you, Howard, for your service. And my buddy Pete DeZuris, who was on my selection committee. He dropped off I don't know why we couldn't keep him, but he dropped off the CUNA board this last year, and I just want to give a shout out to Pete and say thank you for your national service. And one other, so I was up with the Crashers today, and I got to tell you, I realize, there's all these studies out there about, the Crashers are part of this millennial generation, and those millennials are no good, and they're I don't know, all sorts of things. I got to tell you, after meeting with them, our future is very bright in credit union space in particular, and we need to listen to them. They've got something to share and a lot to give and a lot to contribute, and they're already contributing. As an example, I've got Marielle Ritchie, who is here from Gerber, right? Who just won an HR award, a national award from CUNA for her work with talent and culture at the Gerber Credit Union. So they're already contributing, and I think they deserve a big round of applause from all of you for being here and being part of this. So I just spent probably 10 of my minutes that I'm now wasted because I wanted to talk to you about a few things, and I'll go into this very quickly and just say, I, like Dave, I am here to celebrate what credit unions do. And I put it in terms of dreams coming true. I mean, when a member comes into your shop, often they've got dreams. Some of them you know, some of them you may not. And some of them may be really big dreams. I need a boat, I want to send somebody to college, I want a new home, I need a car. Dreams that that you can help them celebrate and accomplish, but they also have dreams sometimes that are challenging. Just getting out of trouble, getting out of debt, getting out of the mud puddle that they find themselves in. And the difference, the credit union difference at its essence is that we're in it with them as a partner. We don't look across the table at them and say, what do I get out of this? We say, how can we be with you in this journey? How can we help? How can we be part of that? How can our membership help you achieve your dream just like you achieved yours? And that's what, to me, the credit union difference is all about. But as I travel around the country, I hear from a lot of leaders who say, our security about our future is something that they're concerned about. Are we going to be relevant 5, 10, 15 years from now? I think 30 years ago it was a given. Credit unions were going to be here, and maybe we could have taken that for granted. But we have too many examples around the country these days in our economy, whether it's Kodak or Sears or whatever it might be, that you can come up with your own example. Toys R Us, there's lots of examples where disruption or the age of acceleration or complacency or forgetting why you're there somehow contributed to their demise. And so when I go around and I talk to folks, as I did this morning, and I just say, what's on your mind? What do you think we need to do to be present today, to secure our future tomorrow? They fall into three buckets. One is what's happening inside our credit union, the war for talent. We just talked about that a moment ago. How can we attract a whole new generation of professionals to come into our credit unions? That's one. Second is data security. This is the call every leader in credit union space dreads the most. Oh my God, the phone is ringing. It could be that moment. And then last is compliance, 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 compliance. Someone told me, I was in West Virginia at a similar event like this, and they said, I've got an example for you you could use. The amount of compliance paperwork that has come out since Dodd-Frank would be the equivalent as though there were 17 different volumes of Harry Potter. And Harry Potter was at least interesting to read, right? I mean, you know, this is something you have to read just to find out you're not in it sometimes. But that's, I mean, all of these are at the tip of the spear of what's happening in the credit. There are many others, but these are the three I probably hear the most. Second is what's happening all around. The future is not as certain as maybe it once was. Our relevancy is called into question constantly. And are people even aware of what a credit union is? I did this on the stage at the GAC. I interviewed Alexa, you know, the one that you can now put in your house and order things off of Amazon. I asked Alexa what a credit union was. And the interesting thing was not necessarily her answer today. See, I'm already giving her a persona, you know. But it's also the fact that most likely more people are going to talk to Alexa in the future about what a credit union is than maybe any of us. And we've got to be ready for that. And what you're doing here in Michigan on awareness and what we're going to talk about regarding a national platform on awareness, I think will help us give that credit union difference a little bit of an edge and a little bit of an echo chamber like never before. And then finally, John was celebrating our regulatory win and some of the challenges we've been having with lawsuits and ADA and our tax status, and our whole credit union model has been under question at the national level. And in some states, we had a big victory this year just defending that tax status in the state of Iowa, where the bankers had come in and gotten a tax provision attached to one of their bills that was going through that we had to all kind of join forces and beat. So at the national level, at the state level, local, we're getting it done with regard to trying to reduce that regulatory burden and making sure that our status and our model is here to stay if we're going to be here to serve those members of the future. But we're not in this alone. This is my favorite chart. We're not in this alone. We've got superpowers beyond our own individual selves. When John Buckley goes and talks to Senator Stabenow, he's not alone. You saw that picture. There's people backing him up. And there's all sorts of people in this room backing him up. And there's all sorts of people in our credit unions backing him up. And you can see the numbers there. 5,700 credit unions, 5,000 credit union providers, 70,000 board members, many of you in the room here. 300,000 people like our crashers who work in our credit unions every single day. But the big number on there is 110 million Americans who now count a credit union as part of their membership. We need to unleash that power as well. Those are the superpowers that we've got. I think we can definitely control our future if we unlock the power of these people who back each other up and get it done in a cooperative way on behalf of credit unions. So why am I here? Because we're on a mission. I'm on a mission. We don't just have a mission statement, we are on a mission. We're the largest trade association for credit unions. We represent them all. We tie together with the leagues because it's the best way for us to deliver our message to policymakers and the general public, and for that matter, to each other. We can't do it one person by themselves. We are so much stronger when we meet up with one other, 5 others, 10 others, 110 million others. And so that's why we do what we do. We put together a plan to address those 3 buckets of challenges, whether it's the HR challenges or the compliance challenges or the advocacy challenges or the awareness challenges. We put together a national strategic plan with our CUNA board and all of our leagues and league presidents to try and figure out what can we do to help control our future. Fierce, bold, 360-degree advocacy like you've seen this year and you will continue to see on offense for credit unions. That's something that is at the heart of everything that we do. And that's why we put all our dues to advocacy. Second is best-in-class solutions. If we're going to do something to help you, let's make it the best. CUSG is one of the best examples of that out there, where when they do something, they do it well, and they do it as a value for credit unions. And then last, and this is the one I want to get to today, is on awareness. I'll just tell you what I'm thinking. I'm sick and tired of people not knowing what a credit union is and what the credit union difference is all about. What you do here in Michigan is something that's unique and unfortunately something that is not done often enough. And that's tell our story about the credit union difference. And so we've got work to do. Let me skip ahead to that because that's what I wanted to get to. The awareness initiative is really a brand platform, if you will, that talks about what a credit union is to a whole new audience of people that have really never heard what a credit union is. They've maybe heard it, but they're no longer even considering it. And so it's a first ever brand platform. It's based on 2 years worth of research. We've hired a national firm. In fact, the Michigan League has also hired that same firm, and we're working together to gather information about people who have never walked in the front door of a credit union. Maybe they're walking past. Maybe they've heard a little bit about it, but they don't know to come in. And so we're connecting and complementing all of the other efforts that are out there is a goal of this, but we also want to inspire your creativity. There are all sorts of marketing folks out there. In fact, today, we all know we have the ability to communicate like never before. Word of mouth, Dave talks about this all the time. Word of mouth was and is the best way for us to communicate the credit union difference. Well, word of mouth used to be over the back fence in my grandparents' time, and maybe even my time if I'm being honest about it. But going into the future, this is the back fence. This is how you communicate. This is how you tell our story. And yeah, there's word of mouth that is person to person too, but we need to inspire and create that multiple effect of all of us pulling that together. So, let's watch this and I'll give you an example. This is the platform I'm talking about.
We unveiled a new initiative to create greater awareness and consideration for the credit union category. At the center of our program is a brand platform based on extensive research and a creative expression of that platform. Together, they have the power to profoundly change perceptions and drive more people to a credit union. When we began our work 2 years ago, we thought our focus would be on educating the consumer about what a credit union is and what it does. But we discovered through a comprehensive research program that many consumers already know who we are. They like what we stand for. We're just not top of mind when it comes to selecting a financial services provider. Our research led to a eureka moment. We found that there are 2 primary myths holding consumers back. They can't join, and it's only local. To fight back, we have methodically built a program that will attack the myths associated with the credit union category. We began by building a strategy that will attract consumers' attention and cause them to want to learn more. This starts by defining the space in the mind of the consumer. We've built a brand platform to connect with the consumer mindset. This becomes our blueprint for internal eyes and purposes only. Fantastic captures the idea of playfulness, enjoyment, lightheartedness. Future Faster speaks to everyone's aspirations. It invites viewers to think about their own lives and how we can be a partner in making them better. All in all, it's about being the right choice for you, getting you where you want to go faster. Once we had defined the brand platform, we started to think about the creative idea to reach millions of Americans and get them to consider a credit union. We know that people zombie march to their bank. They don't realize that there is a better alternative right in front of them, and it has been there their whole lives. All you need to do is open your eyes to a credit union. Hey, America. Yeah, you. Hello, you. Do you have treadmill money? You know, go to work, go home, pay the bills, repeat tomorrow, and the next day? Yeah, you've got treadmill money. You work hard. Your money's working hard for someone else. You can break free. With a credit union, you're a person, not an account number. And as a credit union person, you own a piece of the pie. What does that mean? Checking accounts that give you a little extra, savings too, and loans you can do more with instead of being held back by. And with easy access to your money, coast to coast, 24/7, you can dare to dream of getting a little more every day. So break free. Open your eyes to a credit union. Join the millions of Americans already getting a little more. Open your eyes at yourmoneyfurther.com. The great thing about this concept is that it has real impact, real potential, and the power to make people think differently about credit unions. Research showed that it does this in 4 powerful ways. It shows how we're distinctive, different than big banks. It counters the nationwide access myth. We don't just get across product benefits, we also speak about our characteristics, values, tone of voice. They said it made us look hip and fun. The film leads people to want to know more, triggers interest and curiosity. This concept has the potential to bust through the myths, to show a clear articulation of why and how a credit union is the best choice for Americans, to power your individual marketing and new business efforts, and to take us to the next level as a category. Additionally, for far too long, we've lacked a clear, consistent, and cohesive voice as an industry. We believe in the same things. We know we have a fantastic model, but we don't have one voice. That's why we've launched our research-backed National Messaging Guide. It's an attempt to create the single document from which credit unions can build their marketing and communications programs. This is a tool, not a set of instructions, all backed by consumer insight. We have captured this brand platform, creative idea, visuals, and the video on a website for your information. Please have a look, for it's up to you to drive the success of this initiative. With your help, we can open America's eyes to credit unions.
So that gives you a flavor of what we're up to, and we're excited about it because from a national standpoint, we've never done this before in any kind of consistent way, and it dovetails, I think, really well into what you're doing here in Michigan as we go forward. So we look forward to partnering with you on that. In the meantime, that message guide is available to all of you. So visit our website, get that information, download it. It's very quick to consume, if you will. And we've got, I think now, over 600 credit unions across the country that are redoing a lot of their messaging, like their website and some of their marketing material, using our data analytics and information that came out of that study as a way to try and upgrade their own materials. So that gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're up to. And it has a social media component to this as well. I mean, each one of us can even old guys like me can take a picture and send it out to your friends and say, hey, open your eyes to a credit union. And again, remember, you're not the target audience. So if somebody's back there going, that didn't sell me on a credit union, you're sold, right? These are the people who are walking past the front door that aren't paying much attention. Maybe they've heard of it, but we want them to open their eyes to what a credit union is. So that just gives you a little bit of a flavor. And the messaging guide, you can, if you want to take a picture, all these slides are available, and we'll make sure you get that information so that you can download the messaging guide and take a look at it. Last but not least, I want to tell you what a fan I am of Ken Ross and his team and what we've done together in advocacy with all of you. We can't do this without each other. It's the one secret sauce formula that really nobody else has the way we have it. I mean, it's what differentiates the AARP and some other big advocacy organizations is that they're able to unlock the passion of the people in the room like this in order to be advocates. And it's really the secret sauce that got us the victory this year. It's the reason we're going to keep fighting on our legislative agenda and our regulatory agenda going forward. We've had a lot of accomplishments. That doesn't mean we're done. I mean, I know what that's like. It's what have you done for me lately? Thank you for what we did this year, but let's keep moving, right? So we will continue to press forward the accelerator on offense for credit unions going forward. Let me end there with this. We're getting it done. I want you to know that not only is CUNA and the leagues having some success like this bipartisan effort, but the National Journal did a study of all of the associations out there, and they said CUNA and the leagues represent the views of the industry and speaks for the entire membership more effectively than any other association in Washington. That's pretty amazing. That's a study they did on over 100 associations. And that's not because of me, trust me, and it's not just because of Dave, it's because of all of us working together that gets done, and the impact that we have on the legislators that we talk to. What does this mean? The dreams are coming true for our members. And you can see some of the statistics of what we're able to do to help our members with their dreams coming true and the economic impact that has. $10.2 billion impact for credit union members and over a $13 billion impact on the economy as a whole. It's pretty amazing. And it's a story we tell not at the aggregate level, but on the individual level for every single person. And here's the best one. Even without a brand platform, even without some of the things that we're ready to introduce, 5 million Americans in the last 12 months walked into a credit union and said, I want to be part of this. And that's pretty cool. It's because of the work that all of you do. So I'm here to just say thank you. I'm here to say I need you. We need the superpowers to continue to grow, and that only grows if you're part of this. And that's why you're here, and that's why we need to get even more people involved in the credit union difference and the credit union movement. Thank you very much.
Joining Jim on stage, MCUL President and COO, Ken Ross.
Thanks, Jim. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, Jim, for joining us here in Michigan. Great to hear the update from CUNA. And now I'm pleased to introduce State Representative Lee Chatfield. Lee is the current Speaker Pro Tem of the Michigan House of Representatives. He was born and raised in northern Michigan and lives in Levering with his wife Stephanie and their 5 children. He represents Chippewa, Emmett, Mackinac, and Sheboygan counties. He chairs the Government Operations and Michigan Competitiveness Committees. He's been a supporter and friend of the Michigan Credit Union movement, including supporting our 2016 update of the Michigan Credit Union Act. Please help me welcome Representative Lee Chatfield.
Well, thank you very much. It is a pleasure to be here, and welcome to Northern Michigan. I will tell you, I had kind of a speech kind of written out, and I was ready to go, and then my confidence started waning because I asked Ken about 5 minutes before I got on the stage. I said, hey, are there any other legislators here? He said, no, you're the only one. And I said, well, which legislator did you have last year? And he said, well, we had Governor Rick Snyder, so good luck. And I mean, talk about a significant step down. But I was happy to hear your national chairman say just a second ago, you do have to listen to millennials because sometimes they have things to say. And fortunately, you have one in front of you right now. But before thank you for that, thank you. Before I get going and kind of give you a little bit of an update about what we've been working on in Lansing, I truly do have to thank some people and individuals I have over to my right, your left, with Ken, with Jordan, and Haley, who are all along the wall, because I will tell you this, in Michigan, we have term limits. You're in the legislature, and then you're out the next day. We have a very quick revolving door, and for us to do our jobs, we need certain information, we need knowledge, we need data that's presented to us. And I will tell you this, you have tireless advocates in Lansing who are keeping us updated on the issues. I will tell you this, when I have a question, they are in my office. Quite frankly, even when I don't have a question, they are in my office. So I want to give them a round of applause for the work that they do on behalf of your organization in Lansing. So in Michigan, I'm from northern Michigan, born and raised here. You can go down the road to Petoskey and right along the bay, beautiful area. All 5 of my children have the same opportunity to grow up where I grew up. They're born in the same hospital that I was. So I am a lifelong Michigan resident, and I want to set my roots here. Michigan is important to me. Our recovery is important to me. And as you look over the last 10 years in Michigan, quite frankly, it does not matter if I speak to the Rotary Club, if I speak to the Republican Party, the Green Party, the Democratic Party, the Kiwanis Group. It does not matter. The fact is, when I ask the question, how many of you think Michigan has come a long way and had an economic recovery over the past 10 years, everyone can see it. Everyone can feel it. And we've implemented a lot of changes, of which I'm proud of in Lansing. When you look at the state of Michigan, you look at our unemployment, when it's at a 20-year low. When you look at workforce participation, we've added over 500,000 private sector jobs in our state. When you look at population growth, we're finally growing again. Most people don't realize Michigan was the only state in the first decade of this century to actually lose population. We were going in the wrong direction. But we've done a lot of good things to bring our economy back. And I'm telling you this, a growing economy is not just good for southern Michigan, it's great for northern Michigan, it's great for credit unions. It means that our kids or your grandkids can move back to the state and set up shop here, raise their family here. That's what it means to be from Michigan. Michigan, in the last 10 years, leads the nation in growth and manufacturing jobs. That's something we can be proud of. That's what it means to be a Michigander. Going to work every day, supporting your family, investing in your community. And I will tell you this, I've learned a lot from these individuals about credit unions, but my actual first experience with a credit union was 10 years ago. I was 20 years old, and I was 22 years old. I was in my 20s when I first ran for office. I apologize, not anymore. And I was looking to purchase a home. I just graduated from college, and I came back, and I was in northern Michigan, and I had a bank that I had done banking with my entire life. My parents banked with them, and I was attempting to get a home loan. And I could not help but realize when earlier Jim had mentioned you have to make people see the impact of a credit union. And I remember it was taking months. And I had a friend, I believe he's here right now. He might not call me a friend, but I will qualify him as a friend. Jason Friel, who was working over at Onaway Community Federal Credit Union, now known as Awaken. And I called him and I said, Jason, I know you're in banking, aren't you? And he goes, well, I'm with a credit union, but they're a step below us, but what's your question? And and I said, this guy is attempting to get me a home loan. All my information's there. The data's there. Everything's set. I've been with him for 2 months, and he's operating 13 different branches. And I said, I know it's past office hours, but can I come in next week? He goes, why don't you just drive over right now? I'll stick around at the office. We'll meet, and we'll talk about it. I said, like, tonight? It was about 7 o'clock. He said, yeah, just drive on over. I'm like, man, this is good service here, all right? So I get over there, and within 30 days, my wife and I were in our new home. And that is the service of a credit union. And that's the personal service, that's the personal touch. That meant a lot to me, and it's been great working with your advocates in Lansing. But I will tell you this, we've come a long way in Michigan, but we still have many more areas we can improve in. If you were to ask me if I could give you about a 2-minute rundown of what I think we need to focus on in Michigan over the next couple years and what our legislative priorities will be in Lansing, I would say, number one, we can do more for our residents with lowering the cost of living. And when I talk about the cost of living, the single largest issue we have in our state right now, when compared to other Midwest states or even around the country, is the high cost of car insurance. The fact is, we spend in Michigan, when compared to Midwest states, we spend on average $1,000 more per household per year on car insurance. And think about what the economic activity could be if that $1,000 was back in their pockets. Think about what that would mean for education. Think about what that would mean for our roads. Think about what that would mean for credit unions, for tourism, for northern Michigan. We need to do more. I do believe we have a system that no longer works, and we need to. Republicans, Democrats need to come together. This should not be a partisan issue, and you deserve a solution. So that is one thing we are dedicated to doing, lowering the cost of car insurance. But I would say number two, close behind that, We've come a long way, but we have to ask ourselves, what can we continue to do to let people know around the country Michigan is a place you can move to? And I will tell you this, we can brand ourselves as pure Michigan all we want. But when people come across our state border and the roads are crumbling, it's tough to keep that fresh on their mind. Now, I will tell you this, our funding for roads this year is at an all-time high. We are dedicating more state dollars to infrastructure and roads than we ever have in the history of Michigan, but it is not enough. We need to completely change how we're funding our roads and our infrastructure. We have several ideas that I think we will be tackling within the next couple of years, but the fact is we need to do more. I stood with Governor Snyder recently when he announced that the state of Michigan was going to lead the way with other Midwest states and making an offer simply to the federal government when it comes to infrastructure regarding the SULACs. We have been talking about building an additional SULAC for 30 years. Congress has authorized construction twice, but has not appropriated the funds. Well, the state of Michigan took the lead and said, we will put up the first $50 million towards it. We'll work with other states to partner with them to present to you, the federal government, a way that we can get this funded. When we look at our roads and infrastructure, those are the big things that we need to get done. When you understand the impact that the SULACs has on the steel industry, which is the backbone of America, backbone of the Midwest, we need to get that done. But number three, I would add, we need to continue to make ourselves attractive to businesses across the country. When they look at Michigan, they need to see open for business. Now, I would tell you this, gone are the days, for the most part in Michigan, when people come to my office hours or anyone else and say, you know what, I want a job, but there are no jobs available. The fact is now, you know who's coming to my office hours now? Business owners. And they say there are jobs available and no one is willing to work these jobs. And we need to provide a better certainty in the product these businesses are going to invest in. What we need to tackle, and this is an issue around the entire country, and Michigan has led the way. You should be proud to know that Michigan has actually paid down the most money on long-term debt of any state in the country the last 10 years. We're taking care of our budget, and we're paying down on our debts. But we need to tackle, number three, we need to tackle our unfunded liabilities. If you remember, just a few short years ago, Detroit went through their bankruptcy. If we don't tackle this issue in a responsible way, setting politics aside, and working with municipalities to ensure that they're properly funded, we will have several Detroits across our state. So we need to do everything we can to have good budget practices in our state. So I would tell you this, I am proud to be from the state of Michigan. I'm even prouder to be from northern Michigan. It's great that you are all up here and we have the opportunity to host you. And I would tell you this, I want to thank all of you for your investment in our state. I want to thank you for your tireless work in improving our state, and it has been an honor to partner with you and your advocates in Lansing as we move our state forward. So God bless you. Thank you for everything that you do, and thank you for having me this morning.